Okay, yay, we're recording. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I want to thank you guys for joining in this week. As usual, we've been doing this call for over a year now, and every week we've had a different 200K in the company on, and this is like turned into my favorite call every week because it is so cool to hear just people's stories of their journeys and, not just the good, but sometimes the bad and the ugly, because it's not all perfect. And I think sometimes we look at people's, where people are now, and we don't know what they've been through to get there. And so it's kind of cool to hear people's journeys and be able to realize, wow, they went through those things too. They went through what I'm going through right now. And then it kind of gives us that hope to know that if they did it, we can too. And every week, it's just been so amazing to hear from all of these different women that have graciously said, sure, I'll be on. And they're not even on our team, a lot of them. So this week is no exception. I'm super excited. And I'm so glad, Rachel, that I asked you how to pronounce your last name before I totally botched it. Who knew that your W was pronounced as a V? So it's Rachel Woratschka.
Woratschka. Yeah.
Woratschka.
Close.
Still messed it up. I'm the worst name pronouncer ever.
It's hard.
Okay, I got it. Woratschka. Perfect. Okay. Rachel, first of all, I want to thank you so much for getting on with us. Last week to kick off our year, we had Maria Dillard, and you're our second week, and I'm super excited because I don't know your story at all. And I know a lot of people may not. We have so many 200Ks in this company. It's crazy. So it's hard. It's hard, which is a good thing. It's hard to keep up with everybody, though, and know everyone's story. And that's why I love doing this call. And I kind of wanted to start with, what were you doing before you ever got into network marketing? And then had you done any kind of network marketing before Lavelle? And then how did you find Lavelle?
Yeah, well, thank you, Lisa, for asking me to be on. This is really fun. I live in Wisconsin, and before Lavelle, I was working in sales and marketing for a local radio group. So I was writing commercials and basically selling air, which is non-existent. So I was selling non-existent product, commercial time on radio stations, and I had been doing that for about probably 7 years prior to actually being introduced to the Thrive experience. You asked about if I'd ever done anything like this before. No, actually, I've not ever been in a company like this before. I was in Mary Kay when I was like 21. I became a Mary Kay consultant because I loved putting makeup on people. I grew up with an Avon lady as a mom. My mom was an Avon lady and did daycare to just kind of make ends meet at home. And so I've always loved makeup, and my best friend was doing Mary Kay. So, we did that as a fun thing, just not really for sales or anything like that. So I don't really count that. So I would say Lavelle, very first thing that I've ever been a part of that was online, and that I actually thought I could turn this into a business.
So when you found Lavelle, was it like a friend? Was it something you saw online and you reached out, or did somebody reach out to you? How did that whole thing go down?
So my background is in health and health education and corporate wellness. And so I've always kind of had a love for that, mainly just on a personal level, because life circumstances like divorce and moving states and different things like that kind of threw me off that path, which is why I ended up in marketing and sales, which I actually ended up loving. But I had a friend who was posting on Facebook, and she was, I would say, kind of like an acquaintance, not like a best friend or anything like that. We played sand volleyball together back before we had kids. And she started posting about Thrive consistently. It was probably 10 times a day. She was an accountant, and her husband was a kind of concrete construction worker. So my initial thought was, well, why would these people have any idea about this nutritional supplement that they're posting about? And I thought they'd pretty much lost their minds. I watched them for 6 months, completely kind of transform their lives. And really one day just kind of decided, why am I not trying this product? I've done a ton of other supplements. I have a little boy. I had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I was always looking for something to keep me awake. But I finally then decided, after she probably reached out to me once a month, Lisa, at least once a month for 6 months, didn't stop posting on Facebook, never stopped messaging me about the product, even though I continuously said no. And then finally one day I just decided on my own, it was my day to give it a shot.
So I hope everybody's listening to that. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up on following up. It's so crazy how you can follow up with somebody that it's a no, not right now. And there's more stories like that than not. When I think about like people that I've reached out to before, it's barely ever a no. It's always a no the first time, most of the time. There's very few times I'll get a, yeah, oh yeah, sure. I think people just like need to see it. And then once it's in their face for so long, they're kind of like, okay, I'll try this thing. So when you tried it, did you jump in and start as a customer? Did you get a mini experience? And then kind of share with me what happened when you tried it?
Yeah, that is a huge part of my story, Lisa, because I was the person who thought they knew more about eating and food. Because I have that background, I wouldn't say I was rude, but I would say I was the person that you've probably heard this response. Oh, I ate great and I exercise, so I don't need something like that. So you guys don't give up on those people, because they really do need Thrive. They just don't know it yet. I sampled. I actually messaged my friend and said, hey, I want to try this stuff. I had her meet me in a gas station parking lot. She insisted that she got my email. So we're talking about informational funnel here. She would not give me that sample until I shared with her my email. I gave her an email, but I don't really check that much. And I took the sample, brought it home, and got started. And I wasn't quite sure I had any intentions of continuing it, but I really just wanted to test it, because the honest truth was, at that point in time, my body was a mess. I mean, I felt 80, even though I was like 35. I couldn't digest things. I felt terrible after I ate everything. I was the whole person that was gluten-free, nightshade-free, sugar-free, dairy-free. Like, it was my body was just destroyed. And I didn't realize that something like as simple as the Thrive experience could change all of that for me. So I wanted to try it first, was the point of that. And I really truly was someone who felt really pretty great on their 3-day experience. And I made her bring me more so that I didn't run out.
So at that point, did you start out as a customer, or did you jump right in and go, I want to be a promoter? Like, did she just explain the business to you, or did she kind of not push that at all?
She didn't push that at all, because I had said up front, I do not want to sell anything. I said everything up front that everybody says up front to you guys, that's like that you feel is like a strong no. Like, no, I'll take this, but I don't want to sell it. And I love that part, because really, I know when someone says no, they don't really mean it, if they're like me. So I started as a customer. I actually let my box sit on my bed for a week and almost sent it back, because I really just was worried about the money, I think, or just doing another thing that I would quit. And so and then I got started. I mean, oh my goodness, thank God. I got started and didn't send that thing back. But it wasn't until about day 10 that I actually switched to promoter.
So did you go to her? Were you like, okay, maybe I should sell this thing? Or did she go, maybe you should sell this thing?
Yeah, because I was already in sales, that was kind of my hang up. And I think you probably hear this a lot, like, I don't want to sell another thing. I don't want to sell my friend. I felt like I was selling all day because of the job that I was in. but what happened was I realized this didn't feel like a sale at all. It just felt like, oh my God, like I have people all around me that need this. Within a couple of days, my energy was so much better. I just felt hope again. I felt alive again. I truly felt like air had been breathed back into my lungs again so that I could live. That's really, I didn't know how bad things were until I felt better, right? And that was the importance of getting that Thrive in my body. So what happened was I think people could see it on me. Within a week, they could tell I was different. I was different on Facebook. I was different in person. I just had this glow that came back to me. And so someone had asked me about ordering for their mom. And I went to Tiffany. I said, I got somebody who wants to order. What do I do? She said, Rachel, I can take the commission or you can. What do you want to do? And that simple statement was pretty great because it really just kept it simple for me. Well, why would I not take the commission? I mean, hello. And the other second thing that was life-changing for me in that moment was I said, well, what does it cost? And she said nothing. So the conversation between my husband and I of, hey, Ryan, I think I'm going to switch to promoter just so I can make a little extra money. He says, I don't care what you do as long as it doesn't cost anything. And that one sentence is something that I believe is life-changing in this company because I didn't have to have an uncomfortable conversation with my spouse. Like, there was nothing. It didn't cost anything. So that is the difference in our company. And so I clicked to promoter, and because I had the one referral, and that was it. Frankly, that was the only reason I upgraded to promoter. I knew nothing about the business, and nor did I want to.
I love how she said that little statement to you. Do you want me to take the commission or do you want it? Like, I love that because it's simple. She didn't overcomplicate it. She didn't make it sound like you were jumping into something that was gonna be this huge commitment that was gonna, because I think a lot of people don't sign because they think, oh gosh, there's so much to this. Like, there's gonna be like all of these fees, and then there's gonna be like all this time I need to put into it. She made it sound like it was just so simple. It was just cut and dry. You want the commission or do you want me to have it? And I love that. That like was such a golden nugget. I hope you guys like wrote that down. And when she said it doesn't cost anything, it doesn't. I mean, how cool is it that we can say that? How you can't say that in other companies. Usually they're like, well, you want to be a promoter, it's going to be $500. There's always like that thing to start out with. And being that you were a customer that already ordered, you already had product on you. Like, why? You didn't have to go do that. So how long ago was this that you hit the promoter button?
Yeah, I started Thriving in October of 2014, and
Oh my gosh, did they only have the Thrive experience at that point?
Pretty much, yeah. Just the 3 steps, and I think that we had Activate at that time, and possibly Balance, because Balance was something that I added in maybe a couple months later.
It must be so crazy thinking about how far the company has come in that period, in just that short period of time that you've been in, and now going from like 4 products to like 20. It's pretty crazy. So take me down your road of when you got started. Did you get your VIP bonuses? Did you go 4K in 30 days? And then kind of the time spans in between each one of your ranks.
Yeah, I did. Like I said, I'm so glad that Tiffany understood how overwhelmed I was as a person. I mean, she knew, and she remembered me saying, please don't send me an email. I cannot handle one more email. I mean, that's where I was at my point in my life at that point. So she knew I needed Thrive for that reason, but she knew she couldn't overwhelm me. So things needed to stay simple for me, right? Take the commission or not. Okay, cool, I'll take it. And so what happened was, though, I kept waking up on a daily basis and thinking, oh my gosh, if I'm feeling this, like I'm feeling this, other people need this too. So I did start talking about it behind the scenes. I think I maybe posted on Facebook a couple of times, But she took me through the process of all the different things that we need to do, but not in an overwhelming way. She didn't send everything to me all at once. I got another referral to Thrive for free. And then she said, well, Rachel, if you just get 2 more, you're going to earn this bonus. Oh, well, okay. We'll see if I get 2 more, And then she did point to me and say, hey, get this recorded line at freeconferencecall.com. We're going to actually do a recording about this, and we're going to have your friends pop on. And as much as I would say that I'm somewhat of a stubborn person and I like to kind of do things my way, when I think back about it, I did everything she told me to do. I just did it, and I didn't really ask questions. And that is the key, period, is just that, like, if she's saying do this, this is what we need to do, just do it. And so we did like 2 what we called rally calls at that time, where we got on the phone and people called in and listened, and I just shared my experience. I also, I was just reaching out to people about getting Thrive in their hands. So I hit the VIP 800, I hit VIP 1600, I hit 4K within 30 days and earned my iPad mini bonus. And then 3 months later, so month 4 is when when we hit 12K together as a team and earned the auto bonus. And then within that year, I brought, my husband on board as a promoter, got his auto bonus, and then we hit 200K in pretty much exactly 12 months.
That's crazy. That's like a fast ride. So let me ask you a really quick question. What you did in your life before Thrive, because you really didn't do any other network marketing. I mean, you dabbled in Mary Kay, but that wasn't like a crazy, like you made a lot of money business. Would you say that you were building relationships and kind of building a network you didn't even really know you were building? Like, or are you a friendly person? Are you that type of person that had a lot of friends?
Anna's laughing. Yeah. So the thing I would say that set me up for this kind of business without really knowing it is that I do love being connected to people. So I have never lost touch with like a college roommate or the person I worked with when I was, my boss when I was 21, the job that I was in when I was 24. If I like somebody's energy when I'm at the grocery store, I pretty much ask them if we can get connected on Facebook. Because I have realized I have been through a lot of kind of things in my life that have knocked me down. Prior to Thrive, I was still grieving the loss of my dad. He had died of pancreatic cancer very quickly. Within 7 months, I had a new baby. I'd gone through divorce. It's all these things. And I realized the greatest part about getting through all those things were people. So I have always stayed a people person. And I had a lot of connections because of that. So yeah, I would say that I was already, without knowing it, a perfect fit for network marketing because I love to network just naturally without selling anything.
I just think it's so important to know that, because I think a lot of people are like, gosh, I've been in Lavelle for 2 years and I just hit 4K. We're always comparing our beginning to someone else's middle. Like you didn't realize that you were perfectly set up for this kind of industry because you were doing what we need to do in this industry, building relationships. Like you're just a friendly, outgoing person. And that's why you moved fast. Like there's a reason people come in and move fast. They either have a network already or they've been in network marketing before and they know they've already kind of been doing those right steps. And it's so important to point that out because not everybody goes, 200K within a year. That's like fast, that's considered fast in my book. So just know, you guys, that don't compare, don't look at the other people around you and think, why are they moving faster than me? You don't know their backstory. You don't know, their personality. You don't know the amount of time that they can put in versus you. Like there's so many factors that go into it. And I always say comparison is the thief of joy. It's one of my favorite sayings because it is. It's like, it will bring you down when you do that. When you're looking at another person and constantly doing that in a negative light, there's a way to look at someone and go, wow, they're moving so much faster than me. How are they doing that? I need to pick their brain. That's so awesome. Or there's that person that's like, this is so defeating to me. And if that's defeating to you, stop looking in that direction, because it can be for a lot of people, because they just are assuming they're doing something wrong. And I mean, you've been in now for a few years, and that that's not the case. No, people aren't doing anything wrong. They're just not at that place where they have the network yet. They haven't been consistent enough. They haven't talked to enough people. So tell me a little bit about, a lot of people think, oh, 200K in a year, what a crazy, amazing story. It must be all sunshine and rainbows. And I think people don't realize that the real work really kind of starts at 200K, especially when you move that fast, because, you kind of had momentum all along, and then 200K hits, and then, there's ups and downs, and there's like things that happen that set us back. And there's even times where you think, is my business over? Why is nothing growing? Like, I've been through all of those times, and I'm sure you have too. Can you talk a little bit about some of those things that have kind of occurred and happened, or maybe even talk about things that maybe have set you back and you've had to catch yourself and go, wait a second, I need to check myself.
Yeah, I think there's been pushback. I didn't have a lot of negativity kind of happen when I first started, but definitely like pushback. I mean, I remember even just during my first week of Thrive, a coworker said, oh, I tried that stuff and it didn't do anything for me. I mean, in that moment, 1 week into my Thrive experience, I could have quit because of what he said. Because we're so we're so into what other people are saying. But the good thing about Thrive is it keeps working no matter what anybody else says. Okay, so DJ over there says Thrive didn't work for him. Well, I don't know. I keep waking up feeling like a rock star, so I'm going to ignore him. And I would say as you get more successful, and it got harder and harder, because a lot of people don't like to see someone happy, unfortunately. And so the better it got, the worse it got, right? And there was a time when, I had a lot of my really close friends like talking about me on Facebook, or making kind of passive aggressive posts about me selling things on Facebook. And I chose to kind of just ignore it. And so many times, Lisa, it could have gone in a different direction, right? I could have been like pissed and then thought, well, this just isn't for me, because I love people and I'm a people pleaser. It was hard for me to feel like people were upset with me or they didn't like what I was doing. And what I realized was I had to understand that you can really like people and love people and care for others and still not care about their opinion about what you're doing. And I just feel like there's so many, especially Thrivers and people in this company, they're just good people. They don't like making others or feeling like they're making others uncomfortable. We love friends, we love our people. And if we're in this business, it's probably because we like people, right? Like we care that they're doing well. So I had to separate my love for people with where I was going in my future. Like they're two separate things. So that's cool you feel that way, but here I go, I'm just gonna go on my own path, and it can feel a little bit lonely. The week that we hit 200K, the week before that I had run my first half marathon, and on my drive home, my sister-in-law made a post about how she just ran a marathon with no shakes, patches, or pills. And I cried for probably 3 hours the whole way home. I had a 6-hour drive home from that half marathon, and it popped up on Facebook, and you guys, I was feeling amazing. Like I'd never done anything like that before. And I thought, why would somebody who actually I thought was supposed to care about me make a post like that? So you're going to be surprised by people's actions. You're going to be like kind of in shock or maybe taken back by that. And I always hold on to what Maria says, hurt people hurt people. And I have been a hurt person before, right? When I was like going through my divorce, pretty sure I probably wasn't the greatest to other people without even knowing it, When I was just struggling through life, I don't know how I was treating people. Heck, I could barely treat myself okay. So I return to that feeling and think, okay, hurt people hurt people. She's hurting. She feels like she has to make a post like that. I'm just going to pray for her and I'm going to move on because I'm proud. Like, I'm proud to be a thriver. Heck yeah, I wore a patch on my first half marathon and I wore it proudly, and I'm going to keep doing that. So there were times in that journey where I don't think people know about that stuff. I think they think of just like customers float in and promoters, people are hitting. No, there were plenty of setbacks, but the point was that setbacks basically fire me up. So if somebody says something rude, the next thing I do is I go out and get 12 new customers. And that is a gift, I guess, that certain people have. Like, they're inspired by that, oh, you're going to push back on me, then I'm going to push even harder in my business. And I'm going to make myself proud. And that's the only thing that I can do. I'm going to go help another person, right? If I'm upset about something, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to make sure this person hits 4K. We're going to work together, because my growth and our team's growth, that success is really what I care about, and not what someone else is saying. You're right about the 200K. When you hit 200K, especially when you really didn't even want to be a part of a company and you didn't even know what you were doing, it gets hard. It gets a lot harder, because leading up to that point, not that you're not focusing on the team, but you're still working to get yourself to a rank. And then when you hit that rank, you realize, and you realize you're helping other people get to their dreams and goals. And that's actually all I've ever wanted to do. But I felt frustration that I couldn't physically do that for other people. And, it had to be up to them. And continuously finding, ways to keep the team inspired or motivated or whatever, can feel like it's a whole different task. It's a whole different mindset. And so we still have to wake up and bring in the customers and the promoters and help, hit ranks, and nothing changes. But then you have a whole other leadership side on. People look at you like you're supposed to know what you're doing. So here's what I do, guys. I don't pretend like I know what I'm doing, because there's too many people out there just pretending like they know everything, and they're fake and they're not real about things. And I'm extremely real about my struggles or my challenges, but I'm also extremely real about how Thrive has changed my life. And I am not going to apologize for that. And I am not going to apologize for changing saving another person's lives like Thrive did for me. And so no matter what everybody else is doing as a thriver, I don't even care if I'm at 200K. I don't even know what I am. We hit millionaire. We got the millionaire award on stage this last year in Dallas, and I achieved that. Our team achieved that in 3.5 years. It's incredible, but it means nothing to me, because what means something to me is the next person that's waking up thinking, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to get through this day. And that is the only thing that I have ever stayed focused on. So when you feel like, what's my team doing over there? How can I help them? I don't know. That can get a little bit frustrating. And the only thing that saves me is a new story and a new person that has hope again. And that fire, and just keeping that fire alive. And do that and help your team members do that, because it's not as fun when you're thriving by yourself. And I just realized I have a new promoter who just had their first promoter, and that promoter posted about how they were in a rut and they felt awful and they just could hardly get out of bed in the morning. And I circled that post, sent a screenshot and circled it. And I said, you did this because you were brave enough to get out on Facebook, talk about your Thrive experience, to talk to people, to text them, to call them. You were brave enough to do that. And because you were, this girl over here, like, she's waking up a whole another new person in a week. So, those are the things, I guess, that kind of keep me going, is just keeping that fire going, as we have a huge job here. And if my classmate named Heath, who posted about me posting about patches on Facebook, would have made me stop none of these people would be here. If I gave up because of Heath, hundreds of people would not be thriving and their lives would not be changed. So that's kind of what I hold on to every time I come up against a challenge. I think, all right, that sucks, but here we go. Like, the goal is thrive in bodies and people making memories before they no longer can. And that's my mission.
And it's so crazy because people will let setbacks either totally define them and stop them, even like life happening. I'm sure you've had a lot of life happen in the last,
So much.
but right. And it's like, people either, it doesn't even matter if you get to 200K, 80K. I've watched people have life happen to them and they totally fall out. Like, that's it. Like, they lose it because they totally let that take over. And you either, like, to continue on and to be in that millionaires club, you have to be the type of person that lets these things that life throws your way, whether it's in the business or outside the business, you have to be that type of person that lets that make you do it, make you go even harder, make you work it even harder. Don't let it be excuse not to work it, but an excuse to work it even harder and harder. And I think that's what sets people apart. Those are the people that are going to be in the company and hit that millionaires club versus those people that, might see that success for a minute because, sometimes we don't see the hard until we hit 200K. And I always say, you don't know really what you're made of until you hit the hard, right? And until you hit those hard times, and you can either go one way or the other. It's up to you. We're all going to hit them. I don't care who you are on this. You may be smooth sailing right now, but I promise you, you are going to have things happen. It hasn't happened yet, but it will. And hopefully when those things hit you, you are going to, let those things make it fuel you to push on. And I love what you said. You can't control other people, their decisions, whether they quit, whether they stay, whether they want to, insult you. You cannot control other people, but the only thing you do control is yourself and recruiting that new person. And your fire is fueled when you sign up someone that's life has changed because of the product, or that is climbing the ladder and starting to see success. And I think that's what a lot of people stop doing. If you're not getting your motivation from other people, you've got to check yourself, because that is where you get it from. Like, there will come a point where it's like, I think about Maria Dillard, and, like, let's be honest, like, she makes amazing money. If she wanted to, she could probably sit back and just collect a paycheck. She is fueled by helping other people, and that keeps her going every day. You guys have to find your fuel. What fuels your fire? You had mentioned when you signed up, and it wasn't too long ago, 3 years ago is when I got started, and I did the same thing you did. We did calls. I think you called it a rally call, but we called it like it was like a call that everyone made with, like, your story that people could call in and listen to, and then they got off the phone and called you and said, I want to sign up. Like, we stopped doing that. And I think it's because just over the last 3 years, nobody dials into a number anymore, or we think that they don't, which sucks really bad. What do
Mhm.
you do now? Like, do you guys do something different? I'm just curious, because I just think third party credibility is so important, but I also think it's so important for people to be able to hear your voice, hear your excitement, hear your story and what the Thrive experience is doing for you out of the gate. And I do believe with all my heart that one of the biggest reasons why, you know, there's been a decline a tiny bit in the business over the last year, and I think that's just been kind of all around, is because nobody's doing that anymore. So
Mhm.
I'm just wondering, are you doing something like to kind of still get that voice out there?
Yeah, you're right. We saw the most growth when we were using our voice. Um, and I also know we have to kind of roll with the times too, right? That was 4 or 5 years ago, and I still think that voice is very powerful. So right now, what I'm doing to still use voice is we will get them in a 3-way thread on Facebook, and I use voice messaging. Because that excitement in your voice, you can't fake that. Like you can when you write. So we do a lot of voice messaging. We still do push on pre-recorded call, meaning like our story recorded, and then we turn that into a clickable where you just click on an arrow and click on the image and you can hear your 3 to 5 minute, Paul always pushes that too. Like we still really try to hold on to that, because some people actually do like more so getting on a phone call. But for those that don't, we'll do something in Messenger and we'll talk through that. Now for telling their story, I mean, I loved Facebook Lives, but now we're kind of having some issues with the side-by-side lives, which I really miss. Like I really miss telling someone's story live like that. So we just had a meeting like with my sponsors are Tiffany and Dustin Wagner, and then some of the team, and we really still are trying to stay close to the basics. Really having a streamlined process for when a new person comes on, here's what happens. When a new promoter starts, here's what they do and where they go. One thing I'm not utilizing as much that I'm going to do more of, because I just kind of lost track of there being so many tools to use, is Maria's VIP bot. I'm using that no matter what. Because again, they'll click on Facebook and they'll get on there and they'll learn on Facebook. They won't get on a phone call. So I'm making sure that that's a part of our process, that anyone, even interested customers, could go through that VIP, that 14-day robot through Facebook. And we still do a welcome call, Lisa. Like we really still hold strong to that informational funnel. And it's what we do. But we have been like lightening up on it. Yep, if they don't want to get on phone call, then we'll do Messenger. If they don't want to do a launch party, we'll do a party through Facebook. We just got to work with whatever the person kind of wants to do. But the excitement can get lower when you can't hear the voice. And I know I've even done, like I've done a lot less of that type of stuff. And I definitely feel like it's missing.
I know. I was like racking my brain this year just to think about ways to bring the voice back. But I do like what you said. There's tape a call. I think it's called tape a call or record a call. Like that is such a good idea, because just shooting over, hey, listen to this. They click on that little arrow. You guys can record a call and download it to tape a call. And it can be, your upline interviewing you, and they can hear a quick little snippet. And I think it's so powerful, because I will tell you, it made a world of difference. It just sucks that, like, you're right. The direction everybody's moving in nowadays, like, and I do it too. I screen all my phone calls. Like, I don't even answer my phone half the time. I just make people text me. It's like we avoid talking to people, and it's like, but that's what works. And getting back to that, I think this year especially is going to be key to, seeing growth, a lot of growth, and letting people hear your excitement. And I always say there's not enough emojis on the planet to explain, to hear that. You've got to hear that someone's genuine, that they're real. Because that's what got me, is hearing somebody's story on a call that I could hear their voice. I could tell they weren't lying. I could tell it wasn't fake. I could tell it wasn't salesy. It was just like passion for something, which made me get excited. And I think that it's just so hard to, it's so hard to move with the times. So sometimes, but we've got to figure out those ways to do it. So I love when you said welcome call. I do not understand why anyone would sign anyone up into this business and not set up some sort of a welcome call. Like, even if it's connecting them in Messenger with a couple other uplines, sidelines, who cares? It's getting that person excited and them knowing, look, there's other people besides the person that signs you that's excited for you. There's other people here to help you. And especially with new people signing new people, what if they quit? I have had people literally tell me I quit because the person that signed me quit and I didn't know what to do next. And they knew who I was, but they had never had a conversation with me and they felt intimidated, or they didn't know how to reach out, or they didn't know what to say. So they were just like, maybe this isn't for me. It is so important to get that welcome call in. I'm so glad you mentioned that. When you sign up somebody new, if I'm in your inbox and I'm like, okay, Rachel, I'm ready to do this thing. What kind of do you do in those first 14 days to guide that person? Is there like anything that sticks out to you that maybe you do that maybe we're not doing?
Well, once someone shows interest, I mean, it's just kind of my automatic to say, can we talk at 6 o'clock tomorrow? I just, the thing is that I don't have a lot of time to dilly-dally around with typing out my message. And that, I mean, people that are the speed, right? People that are speedy is because they're busy. Like, we thrive because we're busy. Like, we don't thrive because we're gonna sit around on our butt. So I make that known too, that busy people do this. And so it's always just a roll into, when can we quick get on the phone? And it automatically kind of goes to an info call or a welcome call. If that is a no fail, it's, we're getting them set up basically through Messenger and going in and getting going. And then from there, we just have kind of a process where they're added to our team page, they're welcomed in, and then there's a welcome that basically goes over the first 30 days of their promotership. And they're tagged in that. And then, really, I just kind of go down the line with them through Messenger, text, however it is that they want to do it. Everybody's so different. Like, I have somebody right now who just wants to be on the phone. So we call each other and they're like maybe sometimes 15-second phone calls. But I typically try to think about it like this, the first 30 days they're shadowing me. Everything that I do with them is showing them what they need to do with a new promoter. And I didn't get that in the beginning, like the whole duplication thing. I wasn't duplicatable because I did whatever I wanted, and I do happen to have a lot of knowledge about health, and so I would answer all the questions and I wouldn't really plug them in on anything. And then I realized I just created a lot of people that don't know what to do when I'm not around. So now I'm really focusing in on just like a very streamlined process. And I'm saying, listen, everything that you see me doing is exactly what you're going to be doing. You're just going to copy me, copy it. And I'm doing that with a couple of people right now, and it's just working so well because they're just doing what I say. Okay, now go out and say this to 10 people. So we have a process in that first 30 days of just really helping with scripts, helping with orders, getting that VIP bonus. I would say, like, my VIP bonus earners have completely gone down. Like, in the beginning, I had so many, and then it's almost like I must have been doing something wrong, because even my husband said, like, when's the last time you've had someone earn VIP that's a personal? It's been a long time, Lisa. Like, it truly has. And so I'm really trying to get back to that, and then also helping my personals get their people to VIP.
I think people think that, oh, it's your 200K, everybody you sign goes VIP 800.
Oh my God, no.
Same thing last year. I was like, oh my gosh, it's been 6 months since I've signed somebody that hit a VIP bonus. And I think people think it's just only me. I'm the only one with these struggles. It's not you guys. But what I'm finding too is that I love what you said, which I think is so important. And I hope you guys heard Rachel. Like, you have to remember that what you're doing with that new person has to duplicate. And you have to remember what you do with them, especially if they've never done anything like this before, that's all they know. So if you're making it hard, complicated, if you're if you're kind of like not catering to them too, because like you said, everybody's different. So if you're not finding out when they come in, how serious are you taking this? What do you want out of this? Would you rather speak on the phone? Because there's people that really don't like to read through things. They learn better by hearing someone's voice. There's people that could watch videos all day long, and then there's people that won't even click on a video link. So you kind of have to find out, how is that person going to learn best? It's not like about you, it's about them. You know what I mean? Catering more to them and what they need. And I started the same same thing off like you have this year with how can I get back to those basics and, you know, keeping things simple and getting people VIP bonuses again. Because I think I was making it more difficult. I think I was making it harder. And the one thing I found is kind of like not throwing it all at them at once, like not going, okay, you can go VIP. You know, I was kind of explaining VIP 800, VIP 1600, and 4K. And people aren't going to remember that. They're just getting started. They're confused. So it's like, you know, I'm like, okay, first let's get you thriving free. The most important thing to me above everything is that next month on the 2nd, you're getting product credits loaded. I want you to run this business for free. And then once they hit that, it's like, well, you know, kind of how you got started. You know, now if we go get two promoters, we can get this bonus. And I'm finding with a couple new people I've signed this month that it's being more effective. Like they're hearing it versus me like dumping all the information on them at once. Like you're gonna get this and you're gonna get this bonus, and all you gotta do is sign 2 and 2 and then 2 and 2 more. And if those people do that same thing, you're gonna go 4K. And I think that they were lost when I said 2 people, like at the very beginning. They were kind of lost at the beginning. You know, you've been in a while, and how do you continue to like grow your network? Because I think there's people that are on, I know I've been in like network marketing for a while. And for me, I noticed how you said in the beginning, you didn't post on Facebook that much. Like I can tell you're more like a face-to-face girl. Like you're not afraid to like talk to somebody in the grocery store if they ask what that thing is on your arm. But a lot of people are. And they're strictly coming in thinking, okay, I'm going to work this 10 minutes a day from my phone and post on social media. And, you know, that can work or it can't work. I don't know. I'm like one of those people that I'm like, you've got to learn how to talk to people. Like at the end of the day, you have to learn how to be a people person. It's network marketing. It's not like net wishing or net hoping, net praying. It's networking. And to network, you have to like do it with other people. But being in as long as I have, I'm like, how do I continue to grow my market? So how are you? Like, are you doing more social media? Are you still like an out and about girl? Do you do any like expos and events and stuff like that?
The neat thing about this business is that, like, even as an introvert, or because I am kind of a mixture of the two, or somebody who didn't know a lot of people beforehand, is that the neat thing is that you get to work with people that do. So, you know, I love that you don't have to count yourself out if you're just not automatically like that person that lights up the room and comes in. I mean, honestly, that's not really me. I like to sit in the back of the room and I like to listen and stuff like that. But the next person that you get started thriving, they might be that person that knows everybody and is so, you know, so, and the other thing, Lisa, just a quick note on the VIP is that I truly think we have to get back to remembering that we have to have way more confidence that we know what's best for people before they know it. Because when I was in my VIP period, I wanted nothing to do with the business. And I told Tiffany that. So what would the average person do when someone says, I don't want anything to do with this business? They would shut up. But we have to understand that they don't know any better. I didn't know. I didn't know that I could do this. I was just still getting my life back. I mean, I was exhausted 10 days prior. I didn't want anything extra to do. And what she did was that she just kept handing me little piece by piece, pieces of information. And so just know that no matter what anyone says, it could be really because they're scared. They haven't been a part of this before. They were exhausted. They didn't think they could take on anything else, but keep knowing and believing that they need it. And I'm so glad that someone stuck with me and didn't take what I was saying for real. I mean, sometimes they're going to be like, hey, back off. I just go away. This is it. But if they're thriving and they're feeling the benefits, most likely you can kind of get through to them. But what do I do to grow my network? Yeah, I mean, because that never stops. And I just saw someone comment, you know, how do I rebuild if my team has really taken a life hit? We're always rebuilding. I don't care if I've got 12Ks, 40Ks flowing in. The goal of my everyday is to rebuild. Every day is a rebuild, even when you're 200K. Every day is a new person. I need a new person. So how do I find those people? I've really had to step it up, because as much as of an outgoing person as I am, I like to stay home too. I'm like a homebody. I like being comfortable in my sweatpants. I don't always want to be out there. I'm not like the person who's at all the parties and wanting to put makeup on and do stuff all the time. So I've had to find ways to be more out there in my community. Okay, so what do you like to do? Well, I like to run. I do like being fit and healthy, and so I'm getting into different fitness classes that intimidate me, by the way, but I got to do it for my business and for myself. I'm a Girls on the Run coach. That gets me in. That gets me connected with moms in the community. I'm a part of a couple networking groups. Where you show up and you're legit sharing about your business, so you don't have to feel weird about it. I connect with people through Facebook. We really try to make it a goal to add a new friend on Facebook as much as possible, like every single day. And not just add a friend, but add somebody that you actually think looks like, not just because of Thrive, but really is going to be value in your life. Are they positive? What are they doing? What are they like? Ooh, this person, because I'm really kind of picky about who I'm Facebook friends with, but if it looks like they're on the kind of same track I am as like growth and moving forward, I will introduce myself and say, you look like someone who is a positive influence in my life. We have a couple like friends, do you mind if I friend request you? And we kind of intro. So my goal is to collect as many people in my life as possible that are going to influence my life in a positive direction, thrive or no thrive. At the end of the day, life happens to all of us, and we need connections. We need people. So do I believe that everybody I connect with is going to be a Thrive customer promoter? I don't know. It's not for me to decide, but I am sure as heck going to share it. I'm going to talk to them about it. I'm going to be proud about it. And so I also am getting into some groups, on Facebook. But let's be honest, guys. I don't have a lot of time to be in a million groups and post and do all that stuff. So real solid conversations, voice clips with people. Heck, my neighbor is not thriving, Lisa. So, do I really need to find more people, or do I just need to walk over to my neighbor's house? Let's be honest.
What I love that you said. Can you imagine, Rachel? Like, I think about this all the time. What if you or I would have got to 200K and we would have been like, we made it. All these people under us are just going to keep on working and keep on building their paychecks, and we stopped recruiting. Like, I love how you said you're always in rebuild, because dude, the people that get you to 12K are not the same people that get you to 40. The people that got you to 200K aren't even going to be here when you go to a millionaire. Like, a lot of those people move on. They give up on themselves. They stop working, and you're always in rebuild. Like, you are never not rebuilding. That's network marketing. Like, that's a business. Like, think about the turnover in any business. You're constantly hiring new employees, you're firing, some are quitting. Like, this is life. And
Right.
why are we so surprised when it happens in network marketing? We're all like, oh my God, somebody left. Okay, that happens all the time. You keep going. Like, your goals and your dreams didn't change just because somebody else decided that theirs did. And the thing is that people are always, oh, life hit us. Oh my gosh, I've had oh my gosh, I'm at 4 million right now in sales, and now I'm down to 1.5. Like, you just because you hit 200K, those times that, those ups and downs, those hills and valleys, losing people, nothing happening in your business. Just like you said, last year, you were kind of in the same boat as me. I'm like, when's the last time I helped somebody go VIP 800? Like, these things happen. I didn't go, oh, okay, it's over, just kind of sit here and do nothing. Like, you just keep going. And the cool thing is it only takes one person to really change your business again forever. Like, think about how many people in your business, Rachel. This is what's cool to me. Like, I think about how many people truly got me to that millionaires club, that millionaire award. maybe 15 hardworking people in my downline somewhere. Like seriously, like crazy hard workers that don't stop every day. You guys are not looking for a million people to work crazy hard. You're looking for those 5 good people that are going to take you to 200K. You know, you're looking for those 4 or 5 good people that will take you there. And then they're going to continue on, and those people will continue on. That's really what it's all about. And I was thinking about that, like that you hit the nail on the head big time, because we could just like, get into that place where we're like, I feel so sorry for myself. It fell apart. And that does happen. Like I've been stalled out before, like where it seems like things are really falling apart and I don't know how to get out of it. And I'm like, maybe it's over. Like those things have entered my head before, but then I don't let that stay there. I get up the next day and go, okay, that was stupid. You've been doing this. If you keep doing it, that it'll come back around. It'll be okay. But for those of you guys that are newer, let's say you just got to 40K and then maybe you fell back to 12, or you got to 200K and now you're sitting at 40. To you, and if you've never done this before, and if you haven't been in as long as myself and Rachel, you don't know that it comes back around. So I get that you are scared, but you're talking to 2 people right now that are telling you, if you get your head out of your asses, it will. It really will.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when my first auto ship customer canceled their auto ship, I was like, what? Why would they do that? What the hell? Like, because I wouldn't go a day without my Thrive, you guys. Like, I would not even consider it. So when someone canceled their auto ship, I was like, did they lose their mind? And then you realize, well, okay, well, it happened again and again and again. And you realize, okay, this is how it goes. And this is the way that it is. Everybody is different, like even if it did change their life, something's going to hit them financially and they're not going to be able to do it. And it just is what it is. When I was in advertising and marketing prior to Lavelle, I was told, be sure that you understand that 25% of your business will go away every month. Okay, so I knew already, like my expectations were already there, that 25% of what I brought in January was going to be gone in February. That's the way sales works. So if you know that, you can set your expectations. 25% of what you had is going to go away. So what do you have to do to grow? You have to build in, you have to build that 25% in plus more. But Lisa, before we go, I kind of want to share what I think my team is really good at doing and what I think it has made a difference is that, we're very focused on just holistic as a team. Like I work with people that are like 15 levels under me and I wouldn't even know that they're 15 levels under me. We just never want to forget that everyone is there and everyone is helping, whether they're just thriving for free or they're, some rock star that goes to 200K in 3 months. Whatever, everybody is of value. And my team is really good at showing and say, and really getting behind that we're here as a team and you're not a bad person if you've been at 12K for 2 years, right? You're stuck. You're not, you're not doing everything wrong, but that we support each other and that we're here for when they really want to step on the gas. And yeah, like you said, like you got to get your head out of your ass. It's got to be your own decision. We already know we're doing that when we're doing it. Nobody needs to be told that. Nobody needs to be told that they're not doing the right things. We already know it. It's just like when we eat a bag of chips. Like nobody needs to tell me that was a bad freaking idea. It was a bad idea. So, we're here and we work together. We like keep that campfire warm. And that's what I like to think of it as, is just like keeping everybody around and as many people around as possible. They're going to be people that move fast and slow. But again, we're all people. We all have different goals. And, I love just that, making everybody feel special and then focusing in on really now is what I'm trying to do is focus in on my personals and just make sure they get to where they want to be. Because there's a downside to that too. Like I'm working with everybody on the team and I'm doing team-wide promotions, but then I've lost my front line, right? So you got to kind of keep that balance there.
I love that advice. And we just got paid, guys, like 2 minutes ago. It's so cool we get paid every Tuesday over here. It really truly
Woohoo!
is. I want to thank you so much, Rachel, for taking the last hour of your life with us and just sharing. And I know that I got so many golden nuggets, and I know there's a lot of people on here today that needed to hear exactly what you had to say. And you definitely made a huge impact. So I just want to thank you so much, and just tell you I appreciate you. Thank you for helping
Thank
us
you,
out today.
Lisa.
Thanks so much. Okay, guys, thank you for hopping on. Next week, who do I have? Just so you guys know. Hold on a minute. Erica Sherwood is on with me next week. Um, I think she maybe just hit the Millionaires Club. I think. Um, she's on with me next week, and then after that I kind of got a couple blank spots I need to fill, but we'll fill them. So you guys, it's payday, and one of the things I always tell everybody is this is the most powerful day of the week. Making that payday post, it's not about, I just bought a house or a car or a boat. It's about my paycheck just paid for groceries for the week. Those are the posts that really stick out to people. Those are the posts that I've gotten the most action on. Just those things that one paycheck is doing for my family. That's what sticks out to people. That's those times where those people that have been watching reach out and go, okay, tell me more. How are you doing this? I need my groceries paid for the week. So it's those little things. Don't think that you need to, I don't care if you're making $25 this week, guys. That's gas in your car. Like, you think about where you're at. Don't think about, I can't make a post, it won't be as good as this person's. Like, it's those little things that stand out to people. Most people that look at us don't think that you can build a house or buy a boat, okay? They're thinking that's just outrageous. They're looking for those realistic things that you're posting. So go make that payday post. And again, thanks, Rachel. And thanks to all of you guys for pouring into yourselves and hopping on here every single Tuesday. This is something that, self-development's huge. And I look at this call like a self-development call and kind of a wake-up call. I always say we get paid twice on Tuesdays, once with our check and once with this awesome Zoom, and the leaders that hop on to share. So we will see you next week. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.